Today, we're going to discuss why that boring old accounts payable policy and procedures manual is critical to every accounts payable operation. Welcome to Accounts Payable Soundbites, the program where we explain simple and complex accounts payable issues in short, concise soundbites. Best practices ensure a lot more than fraud protection. By their very nature, they incorporate strong internal controls. Stick around till the end when I'll share some places where you can find best practices, and some of them are free. As you might be able to tell about this issue, I'm really passionate about it because I believe it can make a big difference. I've recently written a book entitled 127 Best Practices for Accounts Payable. You can see a picture of it up there. And it's an update of an earlier one, 101 Best Practices. Why the update? Because best practices change over time. Technology changes. Unfortunately, we have new frauds, new regulatory issues, and as we've seen last year, changing in working conditions. And what I'm talking about is the big move that many organizations made in March when they took their accounts payable staffs remote. And in fact, when I talk to people and we survey them, about half of the companies out there still have their staff remote. Before I go on and explain the way some best practices can help and the way they change, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell at the top of the screen to be alerted to new postings, which we try and do 2 or 3 times a week. Now, I talked about best practices changing. One simple example of that is we now have the best practice where if someone receives a wire transfer request by email for a rush wire from a CEO or CFO, they now have to verify it. That's because of the explosion of that type of fraud. Use of best practices also makes an operation more effective and efficient, and hence reduces cost. And reduced cost is money right to your bottom line. So while it might not seem so obvious to start with, use of best practices will make you more cost efficient. And then if you're a public company and you're subject to the strictures of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, then you know you have a Sarbanes-Oxley audit, and that audit will focus largely on internal controls. So if you're using best practices and they incorporate those controls, you're a big step ahead of the game. Now, if you have any suggestions on why you think best practices are critical that I haven't addressed, please add them in the comment field below, and we can have hopefully an interesting conversation, if you will. Now, I promised at the beginning I'd share a few resources for best practices, and I'm going to do that now. I'll have links to all of them below in the show notes, including the free ones, so don't feel you have to try and write this madly down. First, we have this channel. Right now, there are 99 videos on it, and we're adding 2 or 3 a week, so check back frequently for new business intelligence on your accounts payable function. My company, AP Now, has a free twice-a-week e-zine, and I'll have a link where you can sign up for it below. Our webpage also has free articles, and I'll have a link to that for you there as well. We add new articles periodically. And of course, we're hoping that you'll purchase that best practice, this book that's showing there. And AP Now has several fee-based memberships, and we offer webinars. And I'll have links to pages that describe that below. You want to make sure your AP operation includes all the necessary steps? Click on the link to the box on the left that will show you a quick video that includes all 10 steps that you should be including in a best practice accounts payable function. Well, that's it for today. Please check out our AP Now podcast and other sound bites on this channel. And of course, we always appreciate those thumbs up and shares.